There we go, we're recording.
Excellent. And so we've got all your setups are all fine, everyone, Alison, Tom?
I think so.
Just gonna bring up a scene or two. Let me just
Yeah.
do that for a moment.
Your volume's a bit low, Chloe. I'm not quite sure why.
I can bring it up more. The one thing I want to avoid is my headphones have broken. So at the moment I can't have anything going into this ear, and I don't want people to hear themselves twice.
Yes, I got you. Okay, fine. That's all right. That's understandable.
I'll try and like keep my mic low but speak loudly, as it were, to compensate.
Yeah, great. No worries.
Yes. Okay. So here's. I mean, Alice, this is one of the scenes where you're kind of in the space a lot, as it were. That looks like that positioning's pretty good. Awesome that we can see all of your feet as well. Let me get one up for both of you. So Tom can also have a look. I'll have a look at your green screen actually, Alice, because you're looking a little bit see-through there. Or at least your top is kind of that.
That looks great. Looks good.
Yeah.
Let me just check, because I can see, I think that's a little bit of Tom's that we're getting in the corner there.
Is it because I'm wearing green?
Yeah, I think the top's playing about.
The green isn't going to help. Anything green is probably not the best colour to wear today.
I need to do a wash, and I've only got green clothes left. It's really annoying.
Right, you need to do a green wash. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks like you're in pretty good positions. I mean, we can run the first kind of selection of scenes that we've got to show people where we're at, and if
that'd be great.
Yeah. Is an issue, then it will come up in that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Brilliant.
So I have these all mapped out, but I don't necessarily have super strict cues for all of them. But ignore the fact that Tom is on the projector at the moment.
Okay.
That is something that will come in. But this is basically, we start.
This is
rocking back and forth with Shartington in the cabin.
Lovely.
We can change the speed of this if we want.
So that's quite good. So and so are you controlling the rocking effect, Chloe, or is that something that you set up that it does it automatically?
So there is a way to do it automatically, which Paul has sent me. Unfortunately, because a lot of my time is spent on setting up the sound, at the moment it's just me clicking, and basically we have this setup and this setup, and I'm just clicking a button that says merge that slowly takes it from one to the other. I can change the speed of that.
That's good.
And then we get taken to a one that's level, and Alice should be able to sit down in the chair. 1 second. Sorry, I had to make Alice and Tom's cameras invisible in a lot of these just so I could.
Speckles, go away.
The cat has appeared on the captain's sofa.
Let me rearrange Alice's, because this should be where you're able to sit.
Should be the legend of the ghost cat.
Yeah.
Alice, can you just have a go sitting in that chair for me? Because I might need to rearrange the. Yeah, for some reason you're behind it. 1 second.
Did you say get a chair, Chloe? Or did I just make
Yeah.
that up?
Well, because you sit down in this chair when the projector is playing.
Yeah, let me just find something suitable. Can we have the stool or anything? Oh.
Oh, there we are.
That's great.
If any of the sound effects are way too loud or way too quiet, let me know.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, let me make sure we can't see Tom in the porthole as well. Tom, can I just check in you kind of flat bang in the middle of your space?
Yeah.
Cool.
Right, yeah.
So this is projector with Sharpington. Alice, if you want, we can run back over all of that now with scripted text if you want.
Sorry, Chloe, I can't really hear you at all.
Sorry.
I think we were saying to run.
Oh yeah, I'm aware that at the moment I'm using this primarily just to bash through precisely what the setups are and such. Like if you want to go back to run it with script, that's fine.
It's all good. Let's go through
Yeah,
for
let's.
you.
Yeah, we'll just get the settings done and then we can do a run through.
Okay, well after the Shartington takes us through stuff on the projections, we have Shartington's cabin here. Let me just
Fab.
see, I think I've hidden Alice, because otherwise
Yeah.
it's come up as a block. Let's just shuffle this around.
Like the slow bobbing in the porthole. That looks good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we now have it so that when the ship stops going back and forth at the beginning, it then turns to a slightly bobbing horizon line.
Nice.
Let me just move things over. There we go. Yep. And then you're off that side and we go outside.
Brilliant.
I think I've got the blizzard quite quiet there.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Sorry, Alice, I'll just bring you up there Sorry, whenever I edit these, it's a case of basically taking out the cameras so I can see what I'm doing. There we are.
You look quite fabulous in that thing.
Yeah.
And then whilst Shartington is telling us about stuff, we have a map that appears. We can have it cut straight onto the screen or fade in or find some other way for it to move up.
Nice.
But here we've got the map.
This is the bit I've got to practice pointing.
Yeah.
Really hard.
So that's you looking at your second laptop, is it, to see this? Or?
Yeah, but I'm going to put post-it notes down
Yeah,
where things are in the room, so I can.
that's a good idea.
But we'll figure that out.
I'm also just going to make you a little bit bigger, so that you're a similar size in both scenes, because at the moment we've got you much bigger in one scene. There we go. Sorry, just making you consistent.
That looks good, yeah.
Across both of those outdoor scenes. So yeah, we've got pointing at the map, and then we go to a flashback of Getcha in the radio station.
Is there any way how do I make myself less blurry?
Yeah, I'm wondering about what's the camera that you're using?
Just the webcam then.
I'm just going to go to your sound.
Yeah, your whole picture's quite out of focus, Tom. I'm not quite sure why that is. Whether that's a network issue or whether that's a camera issue.
Oh. Yeah, I'm wondering if it's network.
Just put your hand up very close, Tom, just so you can see whether it's focusing on something closer to us. Not great.
Must be focusing.
It might. I think it is on autofocus. That's for sure.
Is it?
Yeah.
Sorry, Tom, I couldn't quite hear you before. Is it one of the razors or a Logitech or?
No, it's a Logi.
Sometimes. Yeah, sometimes they have software that you can download to help with the autofocus. I can have a look into that. I know precisely where it is for razors, but I can have a look for the Logitech ones.
There is some software, camera setting software from Logitech.
Yeah.
But you can't run it at the same time you're running
I
things.
Your Tom Paul sent me an email about how to do it, so I'll forward it to Tom.
Oh, okay, great, thank you.
Cool.
I wonder if just a quick question, Chloe, about Tom's green screen. Is that as wide as you can get, Tom, with your green screen?
I've got the actual fabric as wide as it'll go.
Have you? Okay.
Were you also?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Was your camera quite so far up last time? It feels like we're looking down on you quite a bit.
Maybe I'll pop it down a bit. Do you want me to bring it any closer? Or?
You might need to bring it a touch closer. It depends how much we're getting of you in the full screen. Ideally, want to get you head to toe if we can. That looks a bit better.
Yeah.
He's come down a bit. I might tilt it down slightly. Yeah, we've got too much above you and not enough below. That's better. How's that feel for you now, Chloe?
That looks a little bit. Obviously, we've still got the blurriness, but
Yeah.
otherwise, that looks a little better in terms of positioning and such. Do you just want to see if? Do you want to take a seat, Tom, and we'll just see if things are currently in the right position, roughly for Getcha with the radio. Okay.
Yeah, I think we have got an autofocus issue going on here. Tom's.
Shift the cropping a little bit so you can reach forward now. Okay, let me just see. There should be some radio static playing here. I'm just going to check whether it's just that I need to get it going.
You look like ghost people. It's like a phantom haunting the space.
It's going. Just very low. Oh, there we are. So there's a bit of radio static going as Getcha is trying to send messages. And then, well, what we kind of discussed some alternatives, because basically the next thing that I have set up is a silhouetted scene. But I think we talked about whether the murder was going to come, we were going to see a silhouette of the murder later, potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I think having the silhouette of a murder now, I think we'd have to look at how we frame it as to like a hypothesis of how it might have happened rather than.
Yeah. Because what
I
I've got
guess.
noted
Yeah.
down is that instead of that, we've got Albert Ross kind of messing with the broken radio, and then we go to the scene where the body gets covered in snow over time.
Yeah.
So I can unsilhouette Tom and take Alice out if Tom's then just being Albert Ross at that point. Does that work from a kind of like costuming, etc. perspective? Because I know we're going straight from seeing Getcha in the radio tower to then Albert Ross in the radio tower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be fine. I can whip a balaclava off and pop a coat on.
Cool. In that case, let me just change you to black and grey rather than silhouette. There we go. I'll pop
Radio.
Alice out for now, though we were seeing potentially about Sharsington kind of like looking through the porthole and commenting on stuff
That would be great.
whilst this was being described. So, I mean, you can have... Yeah, it would be out here. I need to slightly change the size because obviously Alice looks like an absolute giant.
What is going
It's like
on
the
here?
BFG.
Bit more the size of a person. Alice, are you crouching over at the moment?
No.
Okay. Sorry, I wanted to check that wasn't, that I'm just shaping this around you in a comfortable stood position.
Yeah, all good.
There we go. So yeah, we can have Shartington talking about this at the porthole. And then, I don't know how you want to represent that the murders then happened, because we do have, yeah, fading. I'm just going to change this away from the silhouette again to Tom in black and white.
A suggestion of how to do
Hmm.
that is maybe when Tom's on the radio as Albert Ross, it's just my voice saying the next thing, saying like, oh, and then they told me that Albert Ross went and tried to cancel the help. When I arrived, this is what I discovered, and then you see me for the murder
Yeah.
scene.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
So at the moment, what we have is... Oh, I don't know why. I'll have a little check. I think it's just because of the layers there that we saw a little bit of Alice and then not. I'm trying to... There we are. kind of fading to something covered in snow as the snows come in. I'll have a little look at the layers in both of those scenes because I think that's why kind of fading between them you get some odd effects. 5, 6. And
Fading really reminds me of like a late 1970s Christmas music video.
Oh, can't hear you that well, Tom.
No. Does it really remind anyone else of like a Christmas video from the 1970s? It's like the fade. I don't know what it is. Maybe I can find a better microphone.
Got quite a bit of echo on them both, actually, Chloe. On Alice and Tom. I don't know whether you wanted that.
It's not something I've actively put in. My thinking is that after we've kind of gone through all this and caught Peter up running stuff with the Zoom meeting going as well, because I'm very loath to change any sound settings unless we're in that full setup because there's so many moving parts there.
Yeah, okay.
Let me just...
Are you streaming this into Zoom as well at the moment?
I'm not doing it right now, no.
No, but you could do. Yeah.
But yeah, I figure if we practice with pulling Peter in as an audience member from Zoom.
Yeah.
Depending on where you...
I've got
Oh, sorry.
costume changes.
Nice. Depending on where you are, Alice, I've added you to the scene so that you can still look through a porthole. Let me just see if for some reason it's not. 1 second.
You've saw some great images.
Let me just... Are you stood kind of in the middle of your setup?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
1 second. I think I just need to pan you over. I'm just going to note that down, sorry, because I need to make sure your position's consistent across those scenes, but I can do that in a bit. Scene 5. So yes, we see that murder scene, and then the setups that we have beyond then. We do have one which just has Shartington inside the space, so it's possible to kind of reference the body, point at it, point at things in the space, and such like. I'll make Alice a little smaller. Sorry, presumably cameras were at fractionally different distances or such like before. Just check.
No.
Yeah, a little bit similar size. And then we have kind of various interview locations. So we have Penguin's kind of general lab area setup.
Great.
We also have Doug's Body's space. At the moment, I can take Alice out of this instance of it because we've been using it as well for some kind of poisoning scenes.
Nice.
We also, I'm just going to make sure I've got Tom added in here. There we go. We do have a map room for Getcha.
Cool.
We need to redo Tom's.
For this.
Yeah, I need to redo the size of Tom. Because basically Getcha can... There we are. That's kind of a bit more the size, I reckon. And just align you with the bottom there. I'll crop those sides out, so that Getcha can kind of climb out of the hole in the bottom.
Nice.
And then once Getcha's done that, I'll switch to the scene where Getcha can sit down. So if you want to just kind of climb out of the hole, Tom.
Oh my goodness! I am Norwegian.
Let me just do one
Yes,
thing.
you are.
Can you go to the very edge of your green screen, Tom? You're quite close to it. So I just need to... Okay, one moment. I might have to make you a bit bigger or such. Like it's trying to not cut you off at either end. And can you walk to the other side?
Oh,
See, that's where we lose you. Okay, let me...
yeah.
I'm going to zoom in a little bit because I don't want you to be really oversized for the space, but that might give us a bit more. So we might just have to see Getcha kind of as he's coming out of the hole. And let me just... Yeah, because then you can kind of walk across, and we do have a setup for you to sit inside the chair. One moment. Oh, so yeah, because you have to go right to the edge, and then you can kind of come back and sit down inside that chair. I will make you a little bit smaller. I'm just going to note that I need to make your sizes consistent across those two scenes. Currently, those are the interview spaces we have. And then for certain kind of flashback events, we can go back to the Doug's body space where we see some poisoning happening, and any other spaces we can recreate and put audience into. So that's kind of what the scenes that are currently programmed in.
Nice.
I do have some of the sound effects that Steph asked for in terms of like doors opening or not quite opening in the radio tower, but I wasn't quite sure exactly where they needed to go, so I just have them as isolated setups.
Great. I think they'll probably come in when it's the describing the murder scenes.
Okay.
At the end.
So yeah, those are kind of the selection of setups that we have.
Fab.
One thing that I asked Paul to help with as one of the other audience options, because basically we can green screen audience members in from Zoom, but also we have this which we can put as an overlay onto a scene, which is if they want to accuse a certain person, we can actually customize what the writing on the case file says according to whatever they've said.
That's
Can
nice.
I type something in there? If I do it now, would that work, Chloe?
Sorry, did you say you or me type something in there?
No, if I type, would it come in now if I type something directly?
I mean, have a go.
All right.
This isn't the socials one from
Or is it not?
copying over.
Oh, you haven't
No,
got,
this
you
is
haven't,
just
haven't got the
I've
social
got that
media.
one, but I don't currently have it overlaid into any of the scenes because I wasn't sure where we wanted that. But yes, Peter, there's also an option for if there's someone in Zoom who's copying over any comments that are being made in Zoom chat, then we can have that text coming up on screen.
Nice. So this would be, say, for example, like the first, like breakout, the spokesperson for breakout room 1 probably would be, say, starting this, and then we would flash back into what they describe and Alice and Tom acting out.
Yeah, so we can basically do kind of any flashbacks where Tom and Alice are playing out whatever people describe.
No.
I think the breakout room might be one to solve still. how we manage how we still do that from vMix into Zoom. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, because basically vMix can output as a individual camera into Zoom, as far as I can tell, but Paul, say if I'm incorrect. And so then it's a case of, okay, well, where is that camera in Zoom if there are multiple breakout rooms?
Oh yeah, sorry. I meant referencing breakout room when everyone was back all together. So
I see.
Have
Yeah.
a person from the breakout room that they'd been in, but this is all just happening in the main space.
Yeah. And so.
Okay.
Yeah, here you can't see it, but if we, well, when would you like to start playing with feeding things into Zoom, capturing things from Zoom, Peter? Because I can start setting up a meeting whenever we want.
Well, yeah, do you want to run through now that we've got all the setups, do you want to run through the first thing set up and then we'll do the breakout room? I mean the theories stuff. Was it better to start that feeding in Zoom straight away?
Feeding into Zoom mainly is a thing for when you want to look exactly at how an audience member is green screened into a particular scene. If there's anything where it's just you're thinking of Alice and Tom, then we don't necessarily need to set that up yet.
Cool. Okay. Are you all right to run through the scenes with the script? The first ones, and then we'll skip to the Zoom.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah?
That
Great.
sounds good.
Cool.
And I know there'd been talk at the beginning, and I noticed in your messages you'd mentioned about potentially seeing audience members through the porthole in the opening as they're coming in. I don't know if that breaks the world a bit, really. So maybe
it's totally
did you have
up
any
to
discussions
you.
about that?
Yeah. That feels like probably something that we do once we've like got everything else done, doesn't it? It feels like the added extra thing to play with.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, let's run the first all the scenes, and then once we get to the bit where we're bringing audience in, then we can skip to Zoom.
Okay. Now. Okay. Alice, I will try and kind of like follow your movements on the swaying back and forth until we've got kind of really specific cues on that. But maybe I'll just sway it a couple of times and then let you sit.
It's really easy for me to follow you, Chloe, if that's the easier way round.
Okay. You'll see it go back and forth a couple of times, and then you'll see it level out. And once it's level and just staying level, you can sit down.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Goodness, come on in. Welcome, detectives. Sorry, I'm just still trying to find my sea legs on this very rough Antarctic Ocean. Come on in. Come on to the private captain's lounge on board this, the good ship Sensational. Now, here we go. Detective so-and-so, I see you. Come on in. Detective Watson. Lovely to see you. Oh, you were a bit squiffy last night, weren't you? Now, goodness, as you all know, I am Captain El Shardo. And I know you've been having a lovely holiday on board the 1929 Detective Booze cruise, but I'm afraid, detectives, it's time for you to get back to work. Now, we have had to stop here in Antarctica because of an expedition base camp. I'm afraid to say they have just had a murder. It's a small English expedition, and its leader, Admiral Albert Ross, was found dead this morning. Now, there are only 3 crew members left, detectives, and here they are now. We have Doug's body. Is that Getcha?
Getcha.
We have Getcha Bearing. Now, Getcha is the camp cartographer. He is a Norwegian, and he is from the famous Bering family that co-funded this expedition. Sorry, there is my cat that I brought on board the ship. Our next suspect is... Doug Spotting. He is the camp cook, cleaner, dentist, carpenter, HR specialist. There is nothing that Doug Spotty can't do. Now, funny enough, Doug Spotty is no stranger to Antarctic expeditions, for he was with the Admiral for their very first expedition 20 years ago. And I'm not sure how we're going to do Penguin.
Yeah.
If Tom's going to do Pen.
If you want to get real silly, I can try and just put you in again, but like flip you round so you're facing the other way in the projector screen.
Could we try that?
Let me just have a little go here. Okay, so let's bring Alice in. Okay. Oh wait, will it only let me... 1 second. It might have taken one Alice away just because I've brought another Alice in, it looks like.
Oh.
That's strange. Okay, I can have a little investigate into that.
You bringing her in
Yeah,
as a second layer, Chloe?
Yeah, I was bringing her in as a second layer, but she's now just disappeared from where she was previously.
Right, that's interesting, isn't it? I wonder why that is.
Oh wait, I think I see what's happened.
Maybe there's some cropping going on or something.
No, I think I know what's just gone on. It's because vMix is not rearranging layers as I thought it was rearranging layers. 1 second. Oh, can I check that you're still in your green screen eyes? Oh, there we are. Okay, cool. We've got 2 of you now. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, let's move one of you down here. I know the layers are a little bit messy. I will sort that in a second.
Cool.
I think I won't be... I don't know if I'll be able to flip you round inside.
That's fine, I can just do that.
Yeah, I can always make it... If I have a little bit of time during lunch, I can make some other inputs for you, as it were, but I have to flip them in a separate thing, not within this scene. Let me just make sure I've also got you sitting inside the chair. There we go. So we can, if you wanted to. Obviously, all of Alice's movements will be replicated on the projector screen.
Yeah. That's that's going to be an interesting action post. Have a go, Alice. See how it looks.
And finally, we have Penelope Gwynn. She is a Welsh zoologist, and this is her very first expedition. Gosh, rather attractive lady, isn't she?
I think that's the way it would have to be done. Because I suppose there's no way of, it's not ideal to sort of have a video of Ken screened into that bit, or is that just not possible?
It is, like, technically, it's totally possible. It's,
Yeah.
I guess, how it feels changing from Tom quite clearly doing things
Yeah.
live to then a video in that space.
And then with the so with the backgrounds for all of them, just be the plain background of the suspect as well.
It can be different backgrounds if you want. At the moment, I've just got them green screen straight onto the projector.
Yeah.
What I could do is take kind of like slightly blurred or generic versions of the scenes we later see them in.
Yeah. That could be, might be quite nice to try that, possibly. But only if we have time.
That's something I'm happy to do during lunch, because I know it would take a
Okay.
little bit of fiddling around. So whilst others aren't having to sit through me doing it, I can do that and then show you first thing after lunch.
Okay, that would be great if you're all right with that.
Yeah.
Fab. Cool. Right, let's carry on.
So there are suspects, detectives. Now, I'm going to grab my coat. I've forgotten how I get out of this scene. What do I say? Now, put your drinks down, detectives. We've got some serious work to do. Let's go get our coats. And I don't know I've forgotten how I leave. That's a good way. Does that look quite good?
Yeah,
That's
looking
all right.
good.
The one thing is that, aren't you coming in from essentially our right in this one?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I'll
it'd be
have,
nice if you left.
I'll have to go that way. And then I go. Yeah, hang on. Let me just work out how I go. What's that here? If I leave this way, what does that do?
Yeah,
That's fine. I'll leave this way,
Yeah.
and then I can duck. Right. Now we have to wrap up warm, detectives. Let me take you to the expedition base camp. I think I should say we're heading to the radio just outside the radio tower, where we can see a view of the base camp, and I can show you where all the suspects are. Goodness me! That's a bit better. Goodness me! It's chilly out here. Well, here we are, just outside the radio tower. Now, I will show you the crime scene in a moment inside the radio tower, but for now, just yonder you can see the expedition base camp over here. And here is a map of the inside. We have, at the bottom, we've got where Doug's body sleeps. And next to him, we have Penelope Gwynn's lab. Goodness me. Then we have the kitchen. And as you can see, the kitchen is where the tunnel is. The tunnel's all the way to the radio tower where we are now underground. But detectives, that has been locked. And as you can see over here, something about it splitting in half. And here is everybody else's. Where they are. Lovely. Now, the reason why we are here, detectives, is because earlier this morning, I got a radio call from one of the suspects, a Getcha Bearings. He was radioing to call us because they were very low on supplies.
are starving. Albert Ross has got bananas. The ice shelf got several weeks ago, and with it, half of our supplies. Please, I fear that we are in dire trouble. Come quick before something awful happens.
And something awful did happen. Albert Ross was so angry with Getcher for radioing for help. Albert Ross wanted to be the hero of his expedition. He thought that he could save the team by eating huskies instead. So Albert went to go to the tunnel to cancel our coming, but he obviously couldn't get through because the key was missing. So he went overground and he radioed for help. And he went overground to cancel the help.
For goodness sake, Getcha. Bear with me one moment, you stupid boy. Where's the boy? Getcha! For God's sake! Right. Hello? Is anybody's there? The radio's not even working, for God's sake! Getcha! Getcha! Get here immediately! Can't hear you over these ear flaps. Right. Oh, for goodness sake. Listen, if you can hear me, we don't need your help. I'm more than man enough to fix this problem on my own. Right, okay. I'm going to fix it if Getcha can't get here.
But we never received his call. Never received his call to cancel the help. So when I arrived, this is what I discovered. Goodness me! That's Admiral Albert Ross. Is that a snowman? No, it's not. It's Admiral Albert Ross, covered in snow. Now it looks like he's got a marking around his neck of some sort. And let's just look at his face, if I can. Oh, goodness me. It's all sullen, sunk in, very jaundiced. And what's this on the floor? It's a hip flask. But it doesn't smell of alcohol, no. Oh, something very fishy about that, detectives. Now, there are all our clues. Shortly, the detectives will divide you into your detective teams, and you'll have 5 minutes to interview each one of the suspects. We need to know motives, alibis, and relationships. I believe in you, detectives, and then we will come back together to find out who you think done it. Good luck, detectives. I believe in you.
Fab.
I'm not quite sure what clues to include or not, Peter, but we can work that out.
Yeah, I think we can have I think down the road have a chat about like how much we reveal of why Albert Ross was in the tower versus how much comes out in breakout rooms as well.
Yeah.
I suppose.
I probably won't mention the channel because that kind of feels superfluous for this. But I might mention the fact that in the bit where I'm outside, talk about the food, how it broke off, and they've been desperate for food, and he wanted to eat the huskies, but Getcha had other plans, because that's quite a good link into that next scene.
Yeah.
And that's probably it. And then not mentioning Getcha's in the radio tower with him, because that's going to be too hard to do, because Tom can't play two people.
Yes.
It felt there.
Yeah, that's
like,
a question. So in that, I'm sorry.
I'm probably quite quiet. It felt there like that Albert Ross scene was a bit superfluous. Like, if we're
Yeah.
going to have the murder where we see him messing with the radio, like later on, it might just be better to have it later.
I
rather
agree.
than-
I actually, I think we should just. I think it's would be good to just cut to not seeing him in the tower, and that being a mystery. Why was he? Why is he in the tower? If there's already been a radio going, if we've already had Getcha radio and help, which explains why you're there, then they can find out why. Part of the mystery is why Albert's in the tower, and for the audience to find out.
We can always cut from seeing Getcha with the radio to then back to Shartington, like on the outside of the radio tower, continuing to tell us about what's been going on, and then cut back into, like, and this is what I found. Shartington
Yeah.
inside radio tower with body.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great.
I mean, in a way, there's something nice to play with if we've seen as well that if we've seen Getcha in the radio tower, if the next thing we see is a body covered in snow,
Yeah.
that maybe there's a way of playing that the audience think Getcha's the victim initially, but then it's
Yeah.
the body of. I saw a man covered in snow. It was Albert Ross, and then it's that. So that could be an interesting little flip around, but then that changes the script from the beginning of. And actually, the audience know that Albert Ross is dead because they've received the case files, but.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah.
What that also means is that because we've got a scene away from there beforehand, what I'm going to do, Tom, to make your life a bit easier is the kind of like snow that's inside. I'm going to have the bit that's covering you as a separate layer. So basically, just before we get into that scene, you get into your position, and I can just move the snow to kind of try and position it over you rather than the current balancing act, which should make it at least a little bit easier on your end.
Thank you.
Nice. Well, it's looking great. I think it's looking fab. Should we so should we take a little 5-minute break, and then when we come back we can, if we could have the Zoom linked in, and then we can have a little play with the end bit.
Sure.
That sounds good.
Lovely.
Do you want to try the chat interface as well? I can
Yeah.
show that for you. Because that's something you could actually, you or Peter or Steph could be copying text across from Zoom or your own text, and it'll come straight in either as subtitles or it's positioned on a case file, I think, as well. So
Yeah, that would be great.
The audience could be
can
chatting,
be-
and you could actually copying and pasting it in.
Yeah.
If you want to do it, there is a little bit of software you need just to download a little app, a free app,
Okay.
which you can copy and paste text across. But I can do it for the time being and then show you later. Would that be all right? You don't need to do
Yeah,
it
sure.
yourself. You can see, like, I could be doing it, and you can see exactly how it works.
Great.
Is that possible?
Yeah, because it can
Chloe?
be one of the actors in the one of the other actors who's not being used as well. It can be a job that's split between them as well.
Yeah, it could be anybody doing
during the
it.
show.
Anybody could do it. Yeah, yeah. It's just an IRC chat interface. It's a very light app.
What's it called?
It's called Line Chat. Is the app, one word, Line Chat, and it's an IRC client. You just join a particular server and you can start chatting on it. I'll give you the details for it.
Okay.
Have you got a Mac?
I think I found it. Yes.
You are, yeah.
I think I've got it.
It's
Line
Line
chat,
Chat.
social networking.
Line Chat. What's the? Can't remember what the website for it is.
I think I found it in Apple.
Yeah, I think it is available through Apple's
Yeah.
App Store.
If I can remember my changed my Apple ID recently. Okay, good.
There's a few settings to do when you get into it. So you have to select a server and then select a channel, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. It's asking for
The
IRC.
server is where is it? What is it? Can't remember what it is now. Server properties. It's the chat.freenode.net.
Yeah.
That's the server. And then the channel is Telestage, I think.
Telestage.
Yeah,
Okay.
one word. You should be able to chat in there. Oh, yes. Oh, no. Yes, I
Yeah.
can see you've joined.
Yeah. Typed hello. It says unknown command.
Oh. Uh, yeah. I'm not quite sure. Can't remember. I had that problem myself.
Oh no.
Couldn't quite work out. I can't remember how I got around it now. I think in where is it? You type that. Once it's set up, you get into it. It's easy. Chat. God, I can't remember myself now. Okay. If you might maybe quit it and restart it, maybe that helps people. I don't know.
Sure. Okay.
I don't want to take up too much of your time on this one.
Yeah, so yeah, we can always try on the break as well.
Yeah.
Let's go pop quick Tilly one sec.
Sure thing. Yeah.
Okay, no feedback. Good.
Can you hear me any better?
That sounds better. I mean, the main time where I struggled to hear you, I don't know about others, was when you would get you into the radio, and that might just have been where you were facing compared to your mic.
Sweet. I've changed the microphone to the one in the webcam, so.
Okay. I've emailed, because I don't have WhatsApp on my laptop, but I've emailed everyone a Zoom link. I think for our purposes, Peter, you're the only one who actually needs to be on Zoom. But if anyone else wants to see what it looks like going back into Zoom.
Okay, so I joined Zoom. Gosh, it's like being back in early 2021.
Okay, let's bring you in.
There's something quite lovely about having my Zoom filters back as well. I look much better in Zoom than vMix.
Yeah.
And now we've got some form of mild feedback, so I can hear you're echoey. That might just be because I can't be on headphones because none of my headphones work. Amazing. Let me just go through the steps of pulling.
Your chat to the IRC.
Yes.
So whatever we chat into there will come into the vMix as subtitles now.
Oh, great.
Okay, let me just check. Aha. It's not very artful yet, but just to show you being pulled in and hopped in there.
Huh. So, Chloe, would you recommend I look at this through Zoom or vMix?
I'd recommend probably Zoom because that's the experience any audience will have.
Great. And I mute my microphone on vMix, yeah?
You should be able to, yeah, because we're capturing your audio via Zoom currently. We should be doing that. Let's just take that off there. Here. Where's audience capture? Audience Zoom capture, okay. If you were an audience member with a green screen. Oh, I can hear myself twice. I wonder why that is. We'd be able to like green screen you out and put you fully into the scene. Alternatively, at the moment we had a thing of like trying to do flashbacks as black and white. If you wanted to have the audience black and white as well as the performers to try and make them look kind of more visually cohesive, we can do that. Or if there's any other particular visual things you want to try. Am I the only person that hears me twice, or does everyone else hear me twice as well?
I can hear you twice as well. I can hear myself twice.
Oh, that's fun. Okay, let me try and figure out. I might just have too many things on. Okay. Sorry, I've been on three-way calls with myself on Zoom a lot this weekend. to try and... Could you just speak, Peter? Because we should be capturing audio from Zoom.
Yeah, so if I speak now, am I echoing as well?
You are as well, but I can at least hear you, which is good. It means that you being muted in vMix, we are still capturing your audio from Zoom. I'm just going to see if there's some other headphones in the flat that I can nab from my partner and see if that helps it. I'll be 2 secs.
Echoey cough. Which reminds me of those audience members who were watching on 2 screens.
Okay, I'm speaking to try and test things out. I've got some headphones in, but I can't yet tell if they're even working.
You sound the same, Joey. I
Yeah,
think we're all echoing, aren't we?
There's a chance. I want to see if the echo is because of me not having headphones, but I have to change about 5 settings on my laptop when I change the audio, because there's so many bits of software and apps at the moment that are messing with audio. So it might take a second for me to get the laptop to recognize the headphones.
You're not echoing for me now.
Paul, can I just check, do you have any recommendations? Because I'm a bit worried about, say, changing vMix's output to headphones, when at the moment it should have the output of the NDI to take it out to Zoom.
Yeah. I haven't often used the headphones in vMix. I tend to use different channels for audio. It takes a little bit of setting up, but so.
I've got a master channel and an A channel, which are sending out different things.
If you right click on each person's video input, you make sure they're coming in on the A bus, and then you can take their voice out of the master.
Okay, so everyone on the call needs to be on the A.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think we also have to be in. You have to click in the little audio boxes, A and master, but then take out the audio you don't want to go back to. Yeah, the audio should be going into vMix.
It's only Tom and Alice.
The master audio is going back into. Sorry, it's going back into Zoom on the master channel.
Oh, the tutorials I've followed, A is the one that ends up getting sent back to... Right, well, I mean, we don't have any echo at the moment. Peter, as someone who is on Zoom, because at the moment I've got my Zoom I can't hear what Zoom's hearing, because if I do, I'll get massive feedback. I don't know if Peter can hear me.
I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me, Chloe?
I can hear you. I've just changed all of the calls
Don't think you
to
can hear me
the
now.
A channel. Can I no longer be
Okay, I don't
heard?
think.
Okay, one sec. Can anyone hear me now?
I can hear you. Can you hear me,
Yeah.
Chloe?
I can currently hear other people. It seemed that no one could hear me when I was only on the master channel. But whenever I add myself to bus A, we get this feedback.
Right.
I think, oh gosh.
Yeah, the audio is tricky.
Yeah, well,
We
'cause
might
at the
solve the
moment,
audio outside of this session, I think.
what my one worry is that because I was on Zoom by myself for the whole weekend to get things balanced and it was functioning, and my worry is that if we try and fix it, that it's going to be a struggle to fix some sound stuff outside of the session, because it won't be possible to emulate this specific setup with having like audience on Zoom and us in vMix and such like. Is my one concern.
Yeah.
I've stopped echoing on my end.
Yeah, I have too. Can you hear me still?
Yes, I can still hear you.
I can hear a little
Peter,
bit of
can
the
you
audio
hear
coming
us?
back to me.
Yes, I'm getting a slight echo from you both, but it's not as bad as it was before.
Okay. You're coming through quite quiet on my end.
Yeah, me too.
And I can't boost your audio anymore this end, I don't think. Let me just check if there's...
Have a look in my... I can up my input volume in Zoom. How's that? Is that a bit better?
It's not much better. I'm just looking through to see if it's any of the...
I've put my input volume on maximum in Zoom.
Okay.
That's better.
Everything's on maximum on this end in vMix.
Yeah.
How about now, Peter? Can you talk now? I don't think Peter can hear me.
Peter, can you hear Paul?
Hello?
Paul's talking at the moment.
Hello?
Can you hear him?
Not very clearly.
Okay. Can you hear
Okay.
Paul now? If you want to say
One,
anything,
two.
Paul.
Hello? Hello, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes,
You can hear me.
here Paul, he sounds like he's in a swimming pool. It's quite echoey.
Do I also sound like I'm in a swimming pool?
A bit, so it's, yeah, rather than echoey, it's like you've both got reverb on. So it's, you know, it's
Right, okay.
not exactly an echo, but it's very reverby.
Okay, I'm going to try and listen in on Zoom, because I'm on Zoom on 2 devices. If these headphones work, and I can at least listen to and hear what you're hearing. Okay.
1, 2.
Yeah,
Hello,
it's
hello, hello.
Paul's reverbing and I'm very crackly.
Yeah.
Right, I'm just going to keep talking while I change a couple of things. Okay, so yeah, if I'm taken off of...
Shall I
Alice
leave
and
the
Tom,
V-
are you there?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool, I just wanted to hear what you sounded like on Zoom.
Shall I
Okay.
leave the vMix call so that I'm just on Zoom as well?
If you want to try that, because I mean, yeah, that's what an audience member will be experiencing. Sorry. I'm just going to quickly try something. Oh gosh, I'm sorry about this, Peter. That's really unpleasant to hear. Paul, are you able to talk for a few moments?
Sure, yeah. I can tell you
Take one of these
all
laptops
sorts of
that
things
I've got
about
of
the weekend. It was
Yes.
sunny.
expecting it.
We went for a walk, and it was very nice weather here today. Yeah, it makes a change. Can you still hear me? Rather warmer than it looks in Antarctica at the moment, this time of year. Although it can't
Okay.
always be said for sure.
Thank you.
1, 2. Hello, hello, hello.
I was just
Can you hear me still?
thank you. I was seeing if anything changed with me taking the laptop out of the room, but it doesn't seem to be a kind of physical thing of one of the laptops picking something up and messing with it. Oh, one moment. Oh, sorry. 1 second. Okay, so it's definitely something with vMix and Zoom rather than like a feedback thing. Okay.
I know in Zoom you can have an original audio on setting. I don't know whether that helps.
Yes. Sounding better. Yeah, it's hard to listen to. Yeah, it's a constant crackling. Correct. Yeah. Okay. So I will come back to vMix. Great.
Hello. Yep. Yep. Okay. Here's what you can do, Chloe. You go into the audio settings of me, and you go into my matrix, and you take off. Just click off the left and right channel on on the master. Then I'm
Oh, hello. I've muted myself in vMix, so this is coming through Zoom. And Yep, I've got my original sound on. Microphone is turned up full. Um, Everyone looks great, especially me. Um, yep, cool. So I'm back on vMix audio. Is everyone still getting constant crackle? Okay, so I've got constant crackle through all of this. Uh, well, if I leave, should I leave Zoom for now? Oh my God, that's so much better. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's a shame. Yeah, so there was constant. It didn't matter whether someone was talking or not. It was just a constant crackle. Yeah. Right. Yeah. 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 Yeah, it'd be really good to look at the obviously the ending, the bit where we get the different groups or a spokesperson from each group to present. So the options that we've got at the moment, you had the case file overlay, is that correct? Yeah. And then so then it would be live mixing in the backgrounds depending on where they're describing the action, is correct? Sure. Yeah. Okay. Um, and then, so in terms of bringing an audience member in, it's only going to really, our options are if they've got green screen, you can pop them in as you did me just via Zoom. And yeah, and then otherwise it'll just be the only way to get them in would be just their box, just a square screen image, correct? Sure. Yeah. Great. And then with the so yeah, I suppose that would be a better way, because if we're wanting to fit, like, say both, let's say it's Pen and Albert, or Pen and Getcha together in the screen, we kind of want as much of the play space available as possible, because with the case file, I guess it's going to cover, it covers what, about a third of the screen, doesn't it? Okay, cool. Yeah. Hmm. Okay, cool. Um, should we play with? Well, we've got the options of playing with the chat going through, and the options of someone describe the audience describing with the um, image coming through. Can we try the one with the poking around the door, having them in the screen there? How are you going to feed it in without the zoom, though? Yeah. Should we start with internal of the radio tower? Oh, quick question. Have we talked about where all the suspects will? We haven't looked at in the final scene, all the suspects are being in the captain's cabin, is that correct? Okay. My instinct is the most visually, like, the coolest thing would be is if you get an audience member describing the scene, that you're getting to see the different locations as they're mentioned, which is obviously more work for tech bringing them in, because and because you're going to have to go based on what the audience are describing. And how difficult is that going to be, mixing each live each night? Mm, mm. Yeah, yeah, because we'll already after that have the description of how it actually happened, which is going to be the final Tanimon walkthrough anyway, which is structured. Okay. Could we? I'm just wondering if it's more interesting seeing, like, once someone is chosen as a, let's say somebody chooses Penguin as the killer, that you're with them getting them describing and seeing them in their background. So, for example, Penguin's location. Yeah, yeah. Let's play around with this location then, and yeah. So yeah, sure. Um, I think so let's try for now leaning into the ridiculousness of it, and maybe having playing around with, that the first person we see is Shartington asking for the suspects pause, asking for the audience member to give their theory, and then, for example, if they say Doug's body, Tom, you're Doug's body. If you're Getcha, you have to quickly put on your hood, and it's all done in front of the audience seeing it. So we're not, trying to pretend that you're ducking down and doing it. And I'm just going to give a convoluted theory, and the actors reply. Shall we have a go? All right. So, Alice, if you'd like to be Shartington and just asking, asking, asking for a theory. Yeah. Or yes. I guess in theory it would be you in your cabin in the actual show, wouldn't it? And then dropping into this, but we can do that later. So let's just go from this set. Well, we think that it was quite a few people. We think that everyone had a theory and a way in which they wanted to kill him, but we actually think that it was Doug's body. We believe that Doug's body did it, and that Doug's body is in fact Albert Ross, and that the person that he's killed was Doug's body. So we think what happened was Doug's body knew. Doug, we think that you knew that Albert was going into was Doug's body. We think you're Albert Ross. No, we don't think it was Getcha. We think that you took advantage of Getcha being stupid, and that you. It's very delayed now, isn't it? Yeah. I'm I'm starting to wonder if maybe this bit of the audience interaction and bringing in the people giving their theories that I I think well, obviously we've only got like 10 minutes before we break, but I think in the second half it'd be quite nice to look at trying it in the Shartington study with the sorry, I've got really bad echo now. Mm. Yes, I think it'd be nice on the projector screen because yeah, and then that means that if an audience member is jumping around mentioning different characters, as well, if it's the person who's playing the same character, it's much easier for them to sort of do a quick change and interact between the two. And then that's the option of Shartington to be it also means we can get Shartington sitting in situ listening to the theory as well. And it's yeah. 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 That would be yeah, that'd be really nice. Yeah, great. So then we have all of that happening in there, so it's keeping it self-contained. So it means when the final denouement is revealed, then we're out broader into the base camp and seeing how the actual crime took place, with all the moves that you've rehearsed of the poisoning, which is great. And I guess as well, we've got to look at how, because Shartington is going to need to monitor how long the audience theories go on for as well. So we'll have to play around if they've picked Penguin, for example, so we'll practice that in the next bit. How does Penguin quickly get out of that to stop the audience member? And would there be a way? No, you go on. Yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. So that they get to close it and push it to the next breakout room. I think yeah, we need to. I know. We've also got to weigh up what's more like. I guess really what the fun element of this, what's the meat of this, is having the audience member in the space giving their theory. So actually, maybe it's less about we can play with both, but is it less about the actor having to recreate what they're describing and more about how they're reacting and then the response that they give. So maybe it's, you know, as they're describing you a murderous rage, you can show the face of murderous rage or whatever emotion they're describing, and perhaps, you know, visuals like, you know, just basic movements hinting at the action rather than recreating the full action, because if we are going to do that eventually, it could become too complicated. Is there also a... No, go on, Alan. I just wondered if there was also some sort of visual tally that we could have, almost like a, not a scoreboard, but something similar to that, where it just showing as each, as you know, as each person gets accused, that you're getting the names show up, so that by the end you've got, if you've got five, well, either five names or two names that have two votes and one that has one vote. Mm. Yeah, I think it'd be quite nice to have it throughout, so that this, you know, the first tech, maybe, I don't know if it's something that's along the bottom, so it starts, you get Getcha 1, and then maybe by the end all you've got is 4 people voting, Getcha 5, or you have Getcha Pen Doug, for example. Mm. Right. Okay. Right. Yeah. I think we can, yeah, maybe let's leave that as a side note for now and focus on, yeah. Mm. Yeah. 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 Sure. Okay, well, we can look when we're back in, if we look at, first of all, trying it with the Shartington study with the projector, and then just see maybe the case file graphic that you've got, that potentially position, I don't know, bottom right or something, and we can look at typing in through that as it goes. Sound good? Great. Mm. Oh, all right. Okay. Um, great. Well, Alice, Tom, go get some lunch, and then Chloe, I hope you've not got too much to do in your lunch break. That'd be amazing. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I would say, yeah, maybe the text bit we can, that's also something we can look at tomorrow, if that's like, if we keep that can be lower on the list for priorities. But yeah, I think getting the sound and everything sorted. So I'm still at getting a full echo, for example. So I don't know if that's for everyone. Yeah. So yeah, all the time I've been talking. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Right. Okay. All right. Yeah. Was it 2? Is that correct? I've got the schedule. I've the schedule. Yeah, I've got 2. 2 till 4. Oh no, we're going till 12:30 today. Sorry, we should keep going. I thought we were till 12. Sorry. There's look at me trying to end everything early. Um so yeah, yeah. I think for me, I'm finding it quite hard because I'm getting an echo for everything. Well, mainly for my voice actually. But it might be quite nice if we could just sort some of these techie bits out, and so we could break the actors now, um, and then maybe the 3 of us stay on until 12:30, and then maybe we can look at the tech stuff together as well. Then anything we can do without the actors. Does that sound good to you guys? Yeah. Mm. 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 Yeah. So was that? Sorry, I dipped out for a moment there. Was that join in on Zoom again? Okay. Yeah. Mm.
I'm going to leave the vMix call, okay? Okay. So now I should be coming through on the Zoom call. I'm not. Hang on, why is that video is not working? Is my video working? Oh, right, yes. That's right. You can see I'm talking on Zoom. So, okay. Sure, yeah. I can hear, the audio for me on Zoom is quite crackly coming back from you, breaking up and crackle, similar to what Peter had, I think, earlier on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Can I? Yeah, I mean, I'm on my settings. I've got original sound off on my settings, but I don't. I haven't. I think it's not set. I don't set that anywhere. I think that's what you set. Is to set original sound on with your stream coming in. So I wouldn't want to mess around with my sound. I literally just got the basic setup for Zoom here. So I'm working on the same camera as I had earlier on in vMix. Same microphone as well. Let me just check. Yep, same microphone, same camera, everything I had in vMix.
Yeah. 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 No. Yeah. Yeah. It's very clear. I think it's going to be hard going to the sharing because people aren't going to know. Well, I know that people will have seen the show, but they might forget. So I think, let's say for now that I'll do the theory, and then we'll check, but we'll see if maybe we'll ask one other person if they could throw, if you think that's going to be useful. Yeah. Yeah. I'm just using the inbuilt mic. I'm on inbuilt webcam. I sent my Razer Kyo back to Steph. I could try with headphones and use the headphone mic.
Yeah. I'm wearing earbuds actually, so whether that helps, I don't know. I can use my speakers. I can change my speakers and see if there's a difference. I changed my. It's all right. That for me is the biggest problem because it's weird that the audio coming back into Zoom is really picking a lot of noise up somewhere. It's really odd. I don't know why that's happening. Sure. Yeah. Okay. Okay. But maybe we could try and resolve it later, Chloe, as well. I mean, I don't want to hold this to hold up anything else today, but I'm happy to, whenever you're available to try and problem solve this, I'm happy to join you on a Zoom call and just and Teams, a Zoom and vMix, and just try and work out this problem. And the echo is very bad, I think, as well. I don't know where that's coming from. In the vMix call, there's a lot of echo, but not here, but in vMix.
Yeah, so I'm getting a bit of echo of Paul, and I still get echo for myself. Right.
Right. Yeah, that would be. Can I just say one quick thing, Chloe, about the echo? It doesn't sound like acoustic analog echo. It sounds like a digital effect echo. Would that be right, Peter? Would you agree? It's quite a crisp echo. It's not a. It feels very almost like there's an echo.
Yeah.
Synthesizer element somewhere.
Yes. It's not like that. Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's not a room echo. It's not like I can hear it in your room or something. No, it sounds like a literally like kind of synthesized echo effect. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think it would be really good to get all these, if we can focus on the tech and get that sorted, so that tomorrow can just be a full day of play, because we've already got the, you know, the all of those first scenes. I think like it's great. You know, it's already done. I think it's the key is ensuring that the audience interaction bits are going to flow really well, and that if we can have all tomorrow sort of playing with that, with the tech all in place, would be really good. So I'm happy for you to lead and dictate, Chloe, for today, how what's going to be best use of the time. Yeah, yeah, great, sure.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's do that.
And do we still
So-
do we still call the actors back for 2? Do you think? Yeah, great.
All right. But I
Cool.
think to be prepared, if it's a difficult thing to do by 2 o'clock, we might want to abandon the actor part and just focus on the technical issues and get those resolved. What do you think? If we can't, if you
Yeah,
haven't done it by 2, does that sound sensible? Okay. All right.
mm, yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Okay.
Do we? Is it useful to when we come back that you have Paul and I to test the Zoom aspect, and then we call the actors at say 2:30, or bring everyone at 2? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Great.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, Chloe. That sounds
perfect.
good.
Great.
I'll meet you on VMix otherwise, and then we'll decide from there what we're doing. Yeah. At 2. All right. Okay. Brilliant. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Cool.
All
Great.
right. Okay.
All right.
Talk to you in a bit.
Bye.
All right. See you in a bit. Bye bye.